I think the number of stonemasons that sort of came and settled and lived permanently in St. Mary's is really fascinating. One of our researchers here at the museum has done a wealth of information and has created a binder of all of the stonemasons and stonecutters that worked in St. Mary's, and it really is remarkable to see that number grow to 50, 60, 70, and that there were jobs and there was employment opportunities here, and that also to see that they brought their styles and techniques with them. So it's interesting in that research to see what areas of Scotland or England those stonemasons came from, and then those building techniques and those stone cutting techniques that they brought with them, and then to look at homes here or buildings in St. Mary's and see that connection to where they came from in Scotland and how those sort of designs came and are influenced here in St. Mary's.
Here at the St. Mary's Museum and Archives in the archival vault, and this was built as an addition to the original museum building in 2006. I kind of do everything from applying to grants, looking after the collection, to sweeping the floors and taking out the garbage at the end of the day. We're a staff of 2 full-time and 1 part-time, so we literally do everything to make the museum run. There are all sorts of records down here. We have the entire Journal Argus newspaper collection dating back to 1857 up until this past week's edition. We also have family files from all sorts of different families in St. Mary's. We have several thousand photographs, photos of St. Mary's, different people, shots kind of from all around the world. We have municipal records as well, so we have the council minutes, bylaws, assessment records, again dating back to the 1850s. We're half set up as a historic home and then half as more modern exhibit space. So we have areas like the dining room and parlor that are set up a little more traditionally, and then we have several galleries that are changed either on an annual or quarterly basis. So we try to have something always new on exhibit for people to see. One of my favorite artifacts that is actually on permanent exhibit is the 1911 CCM motorbike. It's one of, I believe, 3 or 4 in Canada that still exists, and it was sent to the Canadian Conservation Institute about 15 years, so it's been completely restored, and we're quite proud to show off our bicycle. St. Mary's is a very close-knit community. There are even a lot of people who are choosing to retire here from the GTA, and I think that speaks volumes to the community that these people are wrapping up their careers. They could move anywhere in the world and they're choosing to retire in St. Mary's. We have many new members at the museum who just show up and say, I've moved here, I want to get involved, what can I do? And that's just wonderful. I think the museum and the library are both cultural hubs in St. Mary's, and I think when a lot of people move to town, these are 2 of the first places that they seek out, either just to learn more about their community and to look at either volunteer opportunities or a way to get involved and feel a part of the community. Our collection mandate does state that everything has to have some sort of local connection in order for us to accept archival or artifact donations into our collection. So all of our military memorabilia does have a local connection. I think it's especially important for young people to see. It's so much fun bringing in a class of kindergartners, and quite often I get asked if this is my home that they're touring, but they just walk into the dining room and they're just in awe. They've never seen anything like that, so it's just great to have that compare and contrast of how does this compare to your dining room and why have things changed and why does this look the way it does. I love meeting new people, and it's always just so refreshing to hear someone else who's new to town come in and speak about how much they love the community. I do kind of look at myself as a resource, just being that I was born and raised here, but also have kind of the historic knowledge from working in the museum.
St. Mary's is a very sort of warm and the residents take great pride in the community and the downtown and sort of that historic nature of the community. The greenscapes with the Trout Creek and the Thames River and sort of St. Mary's being sort of down in a valley that you have to come down 2 hills and into. There's really sort of a sense of a uniqueness to St. Mary's and sort of that the downtown core. A lot of those original buildings, we have fire insurance maps from the 1920s, and to be able to look from the 1920s to today and to realize that really not much has changed in the downtown core. The building facades, the building materials, the styles still remain, and I think that makes it what is one of those things that makes St. Mary's very unique. I think some of the decisions that those early settlers made and how the town was laid out and the reasons for it, I think are very relevant today. And I think, for example, the impact of limestone on that early settlement in the 1840s and 1850s. If we look at the St. Mary's Cement Company today, which has been in operation here in St. Mary's for over 100 years, they started in 1912, and the use of limestone is still a very important part of the industry here in St. Mary's, and we have a company that has been here very successfully for 100 years. I think it helps to tell that story and how important limestone was to the community and continues to be today.